fight's not over.
Stop the fight!
People.
Everybody, I come here for everybody. Kill everybody. I'm the champ. I'm the king. Kill everybody. Ah!
All right, what's up, guys? We are back here with Broke Bets. What's going on, Carson?
Yeah, doing well. Coming off fun pay-per-view and looking to keep the winning streak going here.
Yeah,
to the Holloway Allen card.
Made 1.46 units and on a 3-card streak right now. And we got more solid bets to come. And first fight, Joselyne Edwards versus Lucie Pudilova. We're going to pick Joselyne Edwards. I'm going to take her by decision here. Kind of a questionable fight. You know, these chicks are hard to predict. I think the obvious matchup challenge in this is just whether Lucie Pudilova gets a takedown or not. And I think Joselyne Edwards has been improving fight by fight. I'm gonna trust her here to win this decision. What do you think?
Yeah, she's looked good her last couple fights. I like her reach and like her. I think she'll be able to stop the takedowns in this one and win it on the feet, most likely by decision.
Right. We got the bigger cage here, playing into maybe using more footwork, staying away from takedowns. Puldova's last win, I mean, it's a good to get a finish, but Yanan Wu had no takedown defense. I will give Lucie Pudilova a little bit of credit. She was, using a trip with takedowns a little bit higher level than most chicks you'll find around this time. But Edwards has just high volume with the leg kicks and everything. I think that she's going to slowly pull away in this fight with volume. But hard fight to score in the end, and something I'll stay away from. So, anything else you got?
Nope.
All right, Joselyne Edwards by decision. Okay, guys, for the next fight, we have Gaston Bolanos versus Aaron Phillips. Tough fight, man. There's not a lot of great film. You got to lay off for some fighters here, but we're going to take Gaston Bolanos here. I just think from what I've seen, this guy is a strong kickboxing base and some solid Muay Thai and clinch game. And I think that he's just going to be a little bit more dangerous here in this fight and overall win the minutes until he finds a knockout. What do you think?
Yeah, Phillips has been out of the game for 3 years now. Interested to see how he comes back. I just think with that long of layoff, I think Bolanos will be able to take advantage of that. Right,
and against Jack Shore, not that it's going to be a shame to lose to Jack Shore, but he also didn't really have any moments in that fight. He's had 2 stints in the UFC now with not really anything impressive going on. And, I don't see anything special here. Layoff. Bolanos doesn't have much film on him that I could get access to because a lot of these Bellator fights aren't on YouTube. So, even in my professional opinion on this, I don't think I have the best read on this fight. So I think leaving it at Bolanos, out kickboxing him is what I've seen so far. So Bolanos KO round 1. Okay, for the next fight, we have Bruna Brasil versus Denise Gomes. Taking Bruna Brasil here, but let me tell you, this is going to be a great chick fight. For this technique and violence and what's going to happen on the feet, I think this is going to be one of the better chick fights you'll see so far this year. But Bruna Brasil, what makes me really want to pick her in this fight is that she has just a distinct size advantage against the people she faces, and she just uses her length really well. She has a strong teep kick, and she just uses a sniper-like style. She'll stay out of range until she steps in and kind of punishes you with that right hand. And I think that she controls this fight at range and wins a decision here. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this one. I don't say that too often about these women's fights, but yeah, both girls are tough too. Gomes took a ton of damage, fought through it in her Contender Series fight, and she looked good. And like you said, I like the size advantage for Bruna to play the difference in this one.
Yeah, Bruna really reminds me in a lot of ways of Amanda Lemos. Keeps her hands down and kind of like stalks people, keeps really far range, and then has heavy kicks when she gets in there. Gomes, though, no slouch on the feet. That's why it's going to be a great chick fight, but she's kind of a slow starter. You know, if you watched her Contender Series fight, she kind of at times got caught up in the jab of Santos and had trouble really getting going. If she wants to win this fight, she's going to need to get into the pocket and be in the face of Bruna Brasil the whole time. And I even think that could lead to Brasil getting takedowns, and she may just get control time from that. But overall, I think Denise Gomes is the better boxer, maybe Muay Thai kickboxer, but Bruna Brasil's range in kickboxing, I think she's a national champion in Brazil, is going to make it very tough for her to take over this fight. So I see Bruna Brasil winning minutes here, and maybe even losing the third round. So I like Bruna Brasil by decision here. Okay, for the next fight, we have Lando Vannata versus Daniel Zellhuber. Picking Lando here by decision. This is going to be a really close fight, and I think Lando is a tough fighter to make predictions on because he's very talented, but he's also a hit-or-miss fighter. Overall, I think he's just going to be faster than Zellhuber here. We just saw Trey Ogden easily beat Zellhuber, and Lando's a fast guy. He's got solid step-in boxing. He really went toe-to-toe with Bobby Green in the first round of their fight, and, you know, he fades a little bit. He's good in that first round, but in the second and the third, when you get a little bit more tired, he loses his striking defense, and he starts to get hit a lot. He walks into strikes, and I think that he wins the first two rounds here, slows down enough in the third, and Zellhuber catches up. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Zellhuber didn't have his best performance in his UFC debut in his last fight against Trey Ogden, but Trey Ogden's kind of a tricky technical fighter. Yeah, I think Lando with this crowd too is going to be bringing the fight to him, and I mean, if Zellhuber were to win, I think he'd definitely have to take advantage of his 6-inch reach advantage and his height advantage too. But like you said, I think Lando will be able to find the win here.
Right, he's had I think just more high level experience. And Zellhuber, on the other hand, the reason why I think that he could do well later in this fight is because he actually trains at Elevation, I believe, in Mexico. And I haven't really seen him get that tired. You know, when he fought Lucas Almeida, took all the heat in the first round, getting really teed off on, and kind of ate all those shots and came back. And they're going to go toe-to-toe in this fight, probably be really close. And Lando, he can also mix in some takedowns. He's kind of good at cutting down range and then stepping in and taking advantage of takedown opportunities. Zellhuber, though, he's got to watch out. Lando's got to watch out for those knees. Zellhuber likes to put those knees up there as feelers and don't want to run into one of those. So overall, yeah, Lando, being the faster fighter, steps into range, wins the big moments, and I think wins a decision here. Okay, for the next fight, we have Piera Rodriguez versus Gillian Robertson. Picking Gillian Robertson, I think there's just more high-level grappling experience coming in on this side. Piera Rodriguez, you know, hasn't shown many flaws in her game, but I haven't seen anything special either. With the takedown, she hasn't done anything crazy in her first two UFC fights, and she's shown she's been able to get taken down by Kay Hansen, and Kay Hansen is not that good at getting takedowns. So Gillian Robertson here, I think she finds a submission early in this fight when they're dry. And again, good ability to take the back and just really take advantage of those ground positions. And I think that she'll be able to compete on the feet when this comes down to it, and then those takedowns will land, those submissions will come. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think Rodriguez being able to be taken down by Kay Hansen, I think Robertson will be able to find a takedown, and if she can, she's a lot more dangerous on the ground. So I think she'll be able to find a submission, and she just had an impressive grappling match against Rose. I mean, it was just strictly grappling, but still, she choked her out in a minute and looked impressive doing it. So
Right.
Piera Rodriguez isn't too dangerous on the feet, so I do like Robertson to get the finish here.
Okay, Robertson submission, round 1. Okay, for the next fight, we have Ed Herman versus Zak Cummings, kind of a senior citizen cage match. Taking Zak Cummings, I just think he's going to be the faster fighter here, and also the hometown fighter. He's from Kansas City, Missouri, are fighting out of. You're going to get the cheers there. This guy's on a long layoff, but I don't know. This is just me a little bit sloppy. Neither of these guys are in that great of shape, haven't been very active recently, and not a lot to go off of. I think that Zak Cummings is a little bit inactive on the feet, but he's going to be the faster fighter, winning the moments. No reason to bet on this fight. And Ed Herman, on the other hand, more of just like a... He reminds me of Sam Alvey a lot, I'll just say that. What do you think's going on here?
Yeah. Two really old fighters here. And they're both on kind of long layoffs. Year and 7 months for Herman and 2.5 years for Cummings. I just think if it comes down to a close decision, like you said, being the hometown guy, they're more than likely gonna give it to him. So
right,
that's what I think.
I think Zak Cummings has some more credible wins too. Trevin Giles, Algeo Gutierrez, Ed Herman kind of got lucky with Mike Rodriguez, and nothing special going on here. We'll take Cummings by decision. Okay, for the next fight, we have Brandon Royval versus Matheus Nicolau. I'm going for the Raw Dogger here. I'm going for Brandon Royval. I just see something in this fight that I think some other people don't see as maybe like I do, and I can totally understand Nicolau, man. This guy's been incredibly consistent, great record, and boxing extremely well. But Brandon Royval, something that he's going to do in this fight is turn it into a firefight right away. And that's something Matheus Nicolau has not really been in his UFC career. He kind of just likes to sit at range and wait for people to come in. Well, Brandon Royval likes to be crazy, man. It's going to be kicks to the body, step in knees, lots of hands, lots of volume. And another thing here, hometown fighter type of deal. He's going to be the American. Kansas City will be cheering for the American. He's a crazy fast scrambler on the ground, and that will just cause people to gas out. When I rewatched Pantoja versus Brandon Royval, Pantoja got a little lucky, man, with... I won't say lucky, but he lucked out on the timing of how things were going on. Pantoja was getting tired, man. And he also gave Kaikar France a lot of problems because he's in his face constantly, and these guys can't get their normal striking going. And I think that Brandon Royval here is going to cause a lot of problems. And I'm thinking a knockout or a decision, honestly, for him. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I mean, tough to get a read on this fight. I think if Nicolau wins, probably going to be, his technical striking, moving around the cage. But yeah, I mean, if Royval does, he will bring it to him. But if Royval wins, I would think by finish. He finishes most of his fights. Just looking at his record here, I think he's got one decision win. So, yeah, if you're on the Royval side, it's probably by finish. So, yeah, Raw Dogs, he's going to be bringing it. So, and he's got 4-inch reach advantage. I think he brings his fight and can find a knockout or submission here.
Oh, well, I'll go knockout round 3 because I think that this fight's going to add up together kind of into that late point. Like I said, Kaikar France was really struggling with things until, that guillotine finished him. But I also think Brandon Royval can eat the punches of Nicolau here. Nicolau stunned David Dvorak a lot, but David Dvorak, we don't know his chin's that great. Every time Cop touched him, he was, falling over. And Matt Schnell, everyone knows this guy's chin's trash, and we got the perfect prediction on that knockout last time. But I just think the pressure and the volume, and I just think he's going to give him problems throughout this fight. And it's not to say Nicolau will land some clean punches, but Royval's chin is is good, man. He's ate some big punches in his career versus Kaikar France, Pantoja, all these guys. So,
yeah, I think the output will play a big factor. I think Nicolau can get a little stale, and yeah.
All right, Royval KO round 3. Okay, for the next fight, we have TJ Brown versus Bill Algeo. Taking Bill Algeo right away. Placed a 1-unit bet on Bill Algeo. I think that he's just going to have more weapons in this fight. I think TJ Brown a little bit struggles on the feet. And I think that Bill Algeo is the better stand-up striker here. Has better cardio. Maybe not quite as great of wrestling, but he has a black belt in BJJ to protect himself from the submissions and the control. And if you just look back at his Andre Fili fight, even when Andre Fili took the back, one of the judges still gave the round to Bill Algeo for punching Fili in the face on the back. So
yeah, I mean, he probably did more damage in that round just from those punches to the back.
Right. And yeah, I haven't been too impressed with TJ Brown. He has got some weird fights, Kai Kamaka, then things weren't going super smooth. I think that Bill Algeo's fought more threatening fighters, avoided the submissions, and he wins this fight. Simple as that. Nothing crazy's going to go on here. I think it's just going to be a decision. So,
yeah, you like him striking his way to a decision here? Yeah,
just keeping it at range. He got stunned by Andre Fili a couple times, but Fili was throwing head kicks and some harder things to deal with. I think that TJ Brown has less to offer on the feet.
Yeah, totally see it.
Okay, Algeo by decision. Okay, for the next fight, we have Clay Guida versus Rafa Garcia. Taking Rafa Garcia, sadly. I hate to pick against Clay Guida. I don't think we picked against him in his last 3 fights or whatever. But
no, I didn't. Not the Holtzman one.
Oh no, yeah, we picked him in the Holtzman. We picked him in the Puelles. Missed that one, but anyway, Rafa. I just think Rafa is improving every fight, and he's a well-rounded fighter. He can wrestle. He's got striking. He has the gas to go all 3 rounds, and clearly, when he lost about half his body's blood versus Machete, still was in the fight, taking him down, winning minutes with an artery cut. So I think Rafa takes this one to a decision. Jesus himself, Clay Guida, I don't know. He's 41 years old. He could pull it off, but he's going to need to just wrestle at this point. Versus Scott's Holtzman, he was just going for takedowns.
Yeah, I mean, he'll try to be that pressure, get you up against the cage, throw a couple punches, grab a leg, just that sort of thing. But I think Rafa Garcia will win the striking battle and be able to fend off the takedown attempts from Guida. And I don't really know where Guida's training right now. I saw him out fishing last weekend. So
well, he'll be the hometown fighter here for the.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely be cheering for him.
He's the Midwest guy that likes heavy metal music and fishing. He's gonna get that home crowd boost for maybe a scorecard, something to look out for. But overall damage, I think that's gonna come on the feet. Guida really didn't have any damage in that Scott Holtzman fight. He was just looking.
Right. It was just like output and him swailing his arms, looking like he was doing a lot.
But he could give Rafa some problems. That control time and just holding someone up against the fence could really swing a fight somehow. But like I said, overall, I think Rafa's getting better every fight, man. And
he's only 28 too, so
he's
getting to that point where he's almost in his prime.
Exactly. So yeah, Rafa Garcia by decision. Okay, for the next fight, we have Pedro Munhoz versus Chris Gutierrez. Both of these kind of guys, they adopt the leg-kicking style. I'm picking Chris Gutierrez. I think Chris Gutierrez is probably the best calf kicker in MMA right now. One of the best, for sure. I think that this win streak that he's on, the way his career's been recently, is just going up. I think he's going to have the better footwork and the more volume in this fight. Pedro Munhoz, he's kind of just waiting for that one shot, and he's behind in fights until a possible knockout blow, and that's going to be hard to compete with here. So what do you think about Gutierrez?
Yeah, man, I like him a lot. I loved his last performance against Frankie Edgar, and I think he's gonna keep that going too. With I don't see a knockout here at all. Both these guys are super durable. I don't think Munhoz has been knocked out before. I'm checking right now.
Well, he's hesitant enough to let things go to a decision. Like in that Sean O'Malley fight, I mean, Sean O'Malley had no output, but
I don't think Munhoz threw like a punch.
Exactly.
At all in that first round either.
Probably be a lot of these two watching each other, and then, an occasional calf kick for Chris Gutierrez. I really like that Chris Gutierrez has really good footwork and circling, so him getting calf kicked is really hard for his opponent to do. So I think Pedro's going to have a hard time with that.
Yeah, Gutierrez trains out of Denver too, so I'd assume he'd have the crowd favorite on his side too.
Yeah, I think any Midwest crowd will cheer for the American more commonly instead of a hyped up fight. I mean, not like Pedro Munhoz has hype behind him, but younger fighter, win streak, taking him by decision. I think that it's going to go to decision pretty easily. And Gutierrez. Okay, for the next fight, we have Ion Cutelaba versus Tanner Boser. I'm feeling a layup here for Ion Cutelaba. That's kind of, harsh to say considering how his last couple fights have gone, but he's facing the fucking giants of the division. He's facing Kennedy, biggest dude, Johnny Walker, definitely the heaviest light heavyweight, and then Ryan Spann. That's a hard couple street to go through, and I think that Tanner Boser's takedown defense is nowhere near good enough to keep up with Ion Cutelaba. I got a knockout ground and pound win here in the first round for Ion. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Boser's coming down from heavyweight. He was kind of in that tweener spot, like 220, 230 weight. So I think this should be a good move for him. I thought he was a little undersized heavyweight. His weakness is obviously takedowns. I think if Cutelaba is able to get a takedown, and he probably finishes him in the first round. But if he's not able to finish him, I see Cutelaba kind of maybe gassing out.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and Boser has that power too, so can't count that out. And yeah, like you said, I think if Cutelaba can get that takedown in round one, I see him finishing up.
And I think what's weird for Tanner Boser is, like you said, that weight. His really big advantage at heavyweight was just the speed advantage, and you're going to come down here, and you're kind of, giving up that opportunity when you're facing kind of fatter, out of shape guys that you're going to struggle with. This dude also, Boser, with Nascimento and Latifi both. I know Latifi's a pretty high level wrestler himself, but they just laid on him. They got on him, they laid on him, and he had no way up. Cutelaba has a really good actual way in to mount. He mounted Ryan Spann. I believe he mounted actually all three of these big dudes in their fight, and that's where he really does most of his damage. And, the gassing is the biggest thing, but maybe just betting Cutelaba KO round one, especially with this even odds presented, it's probably going to be a pretty good number. So,
yeah, I mean, maybe he can win a decision if he can find a takedown in each of those rounds. But yeah, I mean, I think it should be round one finish for him.
He's just got to wait for his opportunities a little bit. I know he wants to eliminate people and he's got a killer's mindset, but he gets put down pretty fast after gassing. So
right,
yeah, Ion Cutelaba KO round one. Okay, for the next fight, we have Dustin Jacoby versus Azmat Mirzakhanov. Taking Dustin Jacoby here, that kickboxing background, the high volume striking at that weight class is going to be just play into his advantage here. And the size and length coming in as well, I think that wins him this fight. And, he won his last fight. like everybody thinks that. And I just really think that I can't bet on him directly here just based on that decision because it was so fucking insane that he didn't get that decision. I just can't. I still can't believe that one. But I'm taking him by decision. I think that he just kind of jabs up Murzakanov from range, and Murzakanov has to deal with that the entire fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think this will probably go to a decision too. Kickboxing fight. But I think the difference will be Dustin Jacoby's length, and he's got 7-inch reach advantage and 5-inch height advantage. I think he'll just be able to throw out that jab a little easier, be able to touch him up.
Right, grab the minutes and the rounds and add them up pretty much. And when it comes to takedowns, Murzakanov might get 1, 2, but like I don't think he's gonna hold down Jacoby here. It might slow down Murzakanov a little bit because the Tafon and Chukwi fight, we saw him start fast, slow down, and then Nchukwi got caught with that knee. But he was slowing down in that fight, Murzakanov. As a big part of his game is that step in back big left hand. Well, if you're getting jabbed while you're trying to step into range with that big left hand, you kind of lose that opportunity. We're in the big cage. That's going to be Dustin Jacoby's huge advantage in this fight, just being able to circle. So,
yeah, and he's, again, the crowd favorite here.
Yeah. And something else, too. Murzakanov is way too dependent just on his left hand. It's powerful, but it's like if you watch remember the Matheus Rebesti fight or whatever? He just threw those big punches at the Nick Fiore guy, and he couldn't get him out of there. Well, Jacoby's going to see all those punches coming. I think he's going to stay out of the way. So, Dustin Jacoby by decision. Okay, for the next fight, we have Edson Barboza versus Billy Q. Taking Edson Barboza, I was really on the fence with this fight, just because we're dealing with such contrasting styles. You got Edson Barboza, who's going to try to be super technical in this fight. Then you have Billy Q, who's going to make it a dogfight, and which will prevail. I think that Edson, in order to win this fight, he's going to conserve his energy, and he's going to just invest in a calf kick. Billy Q doesn't really line that stuff up too well, doesn't protect himself, and those calf kicks add up. It slows him down, it wins minutes, and maybe wins this fight. I don't know Edson Barboza's full motivation at this point in his career, but I do think he wins this decision.
Yeah, I mean, this should be a really good fight. I think, like you said, Billy Q, he takes a ton of damage, and in that Burgos fight, Shane just kept destroying his leg, and he made him, I wouldn't say knocked him down, but made him slip due to that. But yeah, I see Edson Barboza chewing up that lead leg, and maybe Billy Q could maybe neutralize that with a couple takedowns or attempt to. But yeah, I just see Barboza chewing up that calf and opening up the body and up on the feet.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard fight to perfectly call for Barboza because I think his kryptonite is people kind of being in his face and like just with constant pressure. But again, that calf kick investment when he's going to offer it so much. And Billy Q, I don't think he's going to get any of the takedowns here. I think Edson has good enough takedown defense and jiu-jitsu just to deal with it. That being said, I think he does go into survival mode too much on the ground where he'll just lay there and won't do too much. But it's going to look one of two ways. I think it's either going to be Edson kicking a lot and moving around and being super technical, or it's going to be Billy Q in his face constantly and Edson lost, nowhere to go. So I'll take the Barboza side on this one by decision. Okay, for the next fight, the final fight. Before we get into it, please drop a like, comment, subscribe on this video. Again, we're pulling these bets in. 3-week winning streak, up like 8.5 units on the year or something. But yeah, Max Holloway versus Arnold Allen. Taking Max Holloway here. The best is blessed. Simple as that. Other than Volkanovski. This dude is just going to have, I think, the 5-round experience advantage. And not to mention, I think that if you look back to that Yair Rodriguez fight, mixing in takedowns can be a really big part of this as well. Considering Arnold Allen has gotten a little bit tired in a couple of his fights. Sadiq Youssef fight kind of got tired, sucking air in, and it was a tough fight for him to stay in that 3rd round. And I think 5-round experience, no one's got better 5-round experience than Max Holloway. He may drop a round or 2, but I think he gets this decision.
Yes, sir. I'm with you. And Arnold Allen seems to be breaking his hand in nearly every fight that he's in here.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Recently. Yeah, I mean, I think he broke it in his last 2.
Huh.
So, not that really, I don't really see that affecting much, but it is just something to point out there. I mean, Holloway's only losing to the pound for pound best and Dustin Poirier, so 2 of the top 5 pound per pound guys probably. So, and
you have to think with even the Poirier fight, like he won rounds 4 and 5 in a close fight too. So something to consider for, Poirier is one of the best boxers in the UFC. So
yeah, and Poirier, lightweight, Holloway was still eating all those punches. I mean,
right.
I know Allen has power, but yeah, I don't see him being able to knock out Holloway. So I think Holloway will be able to box him up on the feet. You mentioned maybe a takedown. Maybe, but I do like Holloway to have the higher output and win a decision.
Yeah, I think maybe live betting Holloway after round 1 could be a good option just because Arnold, he did look very good versus Calvin Kattar in that first round. He's looked good versus Dan Hooker in that first round. But as time goes on, it's going to swing. And Matchman, the day this dude gets knocked out, it's going to be a sad day. Has eaten so many significant strikes in his career, and I just don't think that's yet. I don't know how many more fights that he's got in him, even though he's 31 years old. It seems like he's just been in so many wars.
Right.
It feels like at one point that button will get touched. I think the scariest person, obviously, like Ilya Topuria, could be the one to do it. But Arnold's technical, doesn't use a ton of power in his shots, and I think that this plays out how most people probably imagine it would. I like Arnold Allen. I think he's a good come-up fighter, but a tough test ahead. Not to mention beating Calvin Kattar, the knee injury. Well, Max Holloway battered Calvin Kattar.
Yeah, I mean, would you see Arnold Allen beat Yair?
Yeah, it'd be really tough. I think only with takedowns Arnold Allen would beat him, not just standing. So, and I don't think he has that advantage here with Max, even in the takedown department. And I think that Max can use the takedowns in a way that Corey Sandhagen does, where he doesn't even need to get them, but he can make you think about the takedowns, which opens up the striking. So, I like that to open up this fight. Anything else you got?
That'll probably be crowd probably be cheering for Max. He's a crowd favorite, but yeah, I don't really see that playing too much in the factor here.
Right. All right, Max Holloway by decision. All right, guys, for our bets, like we said, went positive 1.46 units, 3 winning weeks in a row. And first bet, took Alex Pereira. Was nice enough to be positive on the night, so there's no stress really worrying about that fight. And he's winning, and it's the way it goes. I think that weight cut just is too much, and his chin can't handle it. Because I don't know what everyone's opinion is about this knockout, but I honestly didn't think it was the hardest punch. Like, I don't know, what do you think?
I mean, I just think it was perfectly placed on the temple.
Yeah, behind the ear.
It kind of looked like where Jamal Hill hit Johnny Walker.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't look like it connects perfectly, but it's the right spot.
Izzy's got those bony hands too, and he hit him behind the ear right after that first punch, and that kind of put him out. But I stand by it. Honestly, for a third fight, I'm on the fence on who I would pick, and I give Izzy a lot of credit for that knockout, because when we talked about that first fight, I said how Izzy needs to actually implement himself in the fight and not just be a leg kicker, because Alex can be hit a lot, and that was from their kickboxing fights. And Izzy didn't do that in the first fight, clearly went home a loser, and then came back the second fight, came to actually in the pocket to exchange, and look what happened. So credit to him, good knockout. Alex a little bit too eager for the knockout, and he probably could have leg kicked his way to a knockout later, but good overall fight, shocking result. So, and you had the Holland and Burns thing here.
Yeah, of course, that was easy money. Holland was gonna, knock out Ponzi, and then Burns. We called that over 2.5 there. I mean, Masvidal's hard to submit, and he's super tough too. So, and
he's covered in lotion and sweating. So,
yeah, I did see that.
I mean, it seems pretty true from what I can, what you see. He's like got a glaze on him. Yeah, and then of course I had the Trey Ogden Ignacio Bahamundes over 2.5. I said this was like one of my confident bets because Trey Ogden is unwilling to try to win a fight and not be in a technical fight, and Ignacio Bahamundes just picked him apart. So easy money there. Like you said with the Gilbert Burns Jorge thing, pretty easy over 2.5. Other than Gilbert piecing him apart in the third round. A little scary there. Man, this Yanez fight, you can see below I got the start round 2 in that one, and Yanez by knockout. I was feeling really good about it. Like, they were just starting way too fast, and Yanez had a huge mouse under Rob Font's eye, and I was like, this is setting up perfect. And Yanez just doesn't have enough experience where he's not the better striker, so he kept on sitting in those pockets, and then Font would just keep punching him where Yanez needed to circle and get away from it. So he sat in there, got knocked out, but I still like that prop that I played. Then I had the Chris Curtis Calvin Gastelum fight. We all know they got good chins. That one was going over. Rosas Rodriguez. We knew Rodriguez had good BJJ, so we thought the sub wouldn't happen. It didn't happen. Good hit. And replayed that Trey Ogden and missed on that Rob Font. But again, multiple winning weeks in a row, and I got more good bets coming. Like I said, Max Holloway bet 1 unit, Bill Algeo bet 1 unit. Anything you're looking at early?
I don't know what Chris Gutierrez line is at, but I do like him to win.
I'm thinking Gutierrez and Rafa possibly together. I think that's a decent parlay. But
yeah, that could be a possibility there.
Anyway, guys, that's it. Peace.
I know. It doesn't matter from the trenches. I'm built like this. Don't doubt me, I couldn't do it. The odds that I couldn't do it. Look at me now.